video of the police kneeling on a student's neck has been released. We have some of the information for you. Put it up full mass here, right? That's a student underneath the knee of that cop. Per the AP, Clark County School District officials in Las Vegas have released police reports and body cam footage under court order showing a campus officer kneeling on a black student last year. The incident sparked public outrage after initial bystander video circulated on social media. The viral 55-second cell phone video began with several officers detaining two students as another student walked by. Recording them, Elfberg yelled to him, "You want next, dude?" The student backed away. The student lowered his phone before the cop twisted him to the ground next to the patrol vehicle, as you see here. The student faced down next to the curb. The officer kneeled on his back. At one point, the student could be heard asking his friends to call his mother. In his incident report, the Clark County School District Police Lieutenant Jason Elfberg said the teen, whose name is redacted, refused to move away from the officers, handcuffing another student while investigating a report that a gun had been brandished the previous day and a threat had been made to shoot up a Las Vegas school. No weapon was found, by the way. I want you to take the side-by-side comparison here, okay? You see, we have deemed the knee on the back of a person to be a no-no. It led to the death of a human being on camera and honestly, injury and death to a lot of human beings across the span of policing in America. Elfberg, who is white, pinning the teen beneath his knee drew public protest and comparisons to the 2020 murder of Mr. George Floyd. The community has called for the cops firing and an ACLU of Nevada lawsuit that forced school officials to release all information. It was them that helped spark the actual transparency. Separately, police body camera video showing the teen being handcuffed by another officer sitting on the curb with his hand behind his back. And Elfberg later acknowledging that the two landed hard on the sidewalk. He encouraged the teen to be checked for injuries, but the teen declined. In his report, the cop wrote that the incident escalated when he ordered the student to start walking, at which point he said no, end quote. Elfberg said in his report, he grabbed the teen, pushed him against the fence, and he attempted again to remove himself from my grasp. So I then spun him around and took him down to the ground. All right, so you're admitting, okay, let's put it up full mass. So this is the attorney of Lieutenant Elfberg, Adam Levine. Adam told the AP ahead of the release that his client, a 14-year-old police veteran, he's acting like a 14-year-old, but he's a 14-year police veteran, was cleared of wrongdoing by the district and remains on the school police force. The attorney also represents the school district's police union. Now, here's what you do. School police officer, school board representatives, political, meaning accountable to the people, right? Political position, elected. Somebody's in charge, district and community-wide. Get to working. School officials, late Thursday, complied with a judge's order to release the police body camera footage of the February 9th, 2023 incident near the Durango High School campus. The 6 video clips the district distributed with faces and parts of some other scenes blurred total more than 2 hours. The district argued that most records of the encounter were confidential because of the age of the people who were detained and denied media requests for them. The ACLU on Friday called the district's fight now to release the records shameful and expensive for the organization and taxpayers. It characterized officers' accounts that the teenagers were stopped during a gun investigation and attempt to spin the events and avoid accountability for attacking school children, end quote. Let's put up Executive Director, ACLU Executive Director, Athar Hezbollah. told reporters Friday, quote, "This fight is far from over," and that the organization has spent $50,000 on the attorneys to obtain the records on behalf of the 2 male students whose names have not and will not be made public, as they were 14 years of age at the time. During the news conference, the executive director, ACLU attorney Christopher Peterson, and NAACP Las Vegas president Quentin Savoy said it appeared Lieutenant Elfberg was annoyed that police activity was being recorded. So the ACLU, through the executive director, called for Clark County DA Steve Wolfson to investigate and charge officers with wrongdoing. So the DA responded that police should conduct the investigations and collect evidence, not his office, even though his office has investigators and has the authority to investigate. While he has prosecuted officers throughout the county for various crimes, he said no filing seeking prosecution has come across his desk. He said further, "I'm not afraid to file a charge in an inappropriate circumstance if and when there is sufficient evidence." Sir, so you mean to tell me that in order for a cop to get away with a crime against a child, all they need to do is simply not investigate and send you the information? That's it. It can be on camera. It could be noted by eyewitnesses. It could be in a sworn affidavit from a victim. But if the cops don't do the investigation themselves, your office won't lift a finger to do what the community who voted for you empowered you to do. You have concurrent jurisdiction here, sir. You were elected because the people believed in circumstances like this, your leadership would actually prevail. All right, thoughts here.
Yeah, how is this still happening? It's incomprehensible. And I say that not just because we literally saw global protests over George Floyd, but how do these cops think that this is any way to treat anyone, let alone a child? How did we get to this point to where we're thinking that this is an okay way to carry out justice? The fact of the matter is that we simply don't see cops in other so-called civilized countries treating their citizens this way. Cops are just people who wanted to do a job, so they got a job. They're not better than most people. And we can talk about the caliber of people who are allowed to become cops in this country. We can talk about the types of people who even want to be a cop in America today and why that job is appealing to them. But this problem is so much bigger than even any of that. The problem is the fact that Derek Chauvin is still celebrated in this country. The problem is that the cops are still so protected that they're insulated from legal liability, even though they're literally just people who are given deadly force and the freedom to exert it as they see fit with little to no fear of meaningful repercussions. And this goes even beyond poverty and the systemic factors that have been proven to actually contribute to crime within societies. This is really just about police culture.
Yep, there you go. Police culture. Once again, eating policy alive.